You start things. You get excited. You make plans. You commit. Then you stop. Days pass. Motivation fades. Life gets busy. Consistency breaks. This pattern repeats. You're stuck in cycle of starting and stopping that prevents any real progress. Consistency is everything. Not talent, not genius, not perfect plans. Consistency. Showing up. Doing the work. Day after day, week after week, month after month. This relentless consistency is what separates those who achieve from those who dream. Look at anyone who's accomplished something significant: athletic achievement, business success, skill mastery, creative output, relationship building, health transformation. Behind every significant accomplishment is years of consistent action, not sporadic brilliance, not occasional effort, consistent, unglamorous, daily work. Think about your life right now. What have you started but not maintained? Exercise programs, learning projects, business ventures, creative pursuits, relationship habits, personal development. For most people, list is long, not because they can't do these things, because they can't stay consistent. This inconsistency is costing you everything you want. The body you want requires consistent training and nutrition. The skills you want require consistent practice. The business you want requires consistent work. The relationships you want require consistent investment. Without consistency, these remain dreams. Your inconsistency isn't moral failure. It's skill deficit. You haven't learned how to stay consistent. You're relying on motivation, which is unreliable. You're using willpower, which depletes. You're hoping circumstances will be favorable, which they rarely are continuously. These approaches guarantee inconsistency. Consistency is skill that can be learned. It has specific components, specific practices, specific mindsets. When you understand and implement these, consistency becomes achievable. Not easy, but achievable. You can become a person who stays consistent regardless of circumstances. This audiobook is about developing that capability, learning to stay consistent when motivation fades, when circumstances are difficult, when progress is slow, when no one is watching. This is consistency that creates results, not perfect consistency. Sustainable consistency that compounds over time. We'll explore 10 essential dimensions of staying consistent, understanding what consistency really requires, in making commitments you'll actually keep, building systems that support consistency, starting so small success is inevitable, never missing twice in a row, tracking to create accountability, removing friction that creates resistance, preparing for obstacles, building identity around consistency, and recovering quickly from breaks. These aren't just concepts to understand. They're practices to implement. Consistency is built through doing, not thinking. Each dimension addresses specific aspect of maintaining action over time. Together, they create comprehensive approach to staying consistent. But I need to be honest. Staying consistent is uncomfortable. Your brain prefers novelty to repetition. Your emotions fluctuate daily. Your circumstances change constantly. Your ego wants dramatic progress, not slow accumulation. Overcoming all this to maintain consistency requires genuine effort. Most people won't do this work. They'll continue starting enthusiastically and stopping predictably. They'll keep making commitments they don't keep. They'll remain inconsistent and wonder why nothing changes. They'll have potential that never actualizes because consistency never develops. Can you be different? Can you do boring work repeatedly? Can you show up when you don't feel like it? Can you maintain action when results are slow? If yes, then consistency becomes possible. If no, then you'll continue starting and stopping. Because here's the truth. Consistency beats everything. Better to be consistent at B level than sporadically brilliant at A level. Consistent B-level work compounds into extraordinary results. Sporadic A-level work creates nothing sustainable. When consistency is the multiplier that makes modest efforts produce remarkable outcomes. Right now, your inconsistency is probably preventing everything you want. You know what you should do. You know the actions that would create desired results. But you're not doing them consistently. Knowledge without consistent action is useless. Action without consistency is temporary. This continues until you develop capability for consistency. until you learn to show up regardless of feelings, until you build systems that support sustained action, until consistency becomes who you are, not just what you occasionally do. 6 months from now, you could be consistent. You could have maintained important habits daily. You could have made real progress. You could have proven to yourself that you're a person who follows through, all because you develop consistency. Or you could still be inconsistent, still starting and stopping, still making and breaking commitments, still having same goals with no progress. The difference is whether you do the work to build consistency. This is your opportunity, not to become perfect, but to become consistent, to develop capability to show up and do work regardless of circumstances, to build momentum that compounds into significant results. Stop relying on motivation. Stop hoping for perfect conditions. Stop starting and stopping. Start building real consistency. Start showing up. Start following through. Let's learn exactly how to do that. Let's master consistency. Let's become people who actually follow through. How to stay consistent. The work starts now. Chapter 1. Understand what consistency really requires. Before you can build consistency, you need to understand what it actually requires. Most people have wrong understanding. They think consistency means perfect daily execution, never missing, always motivated. This unrealistic expectation sets them up for failure. Real consistency isn't perfection. It's persistence through imperfection. It's showing up most days, not every day. It's continuing despite setbacks, not avoiding setbacks. It's long-term pattern, not short-term perfection. Understanding this realistic definition prevents giving up when inevitable imperfection occurs. Consistency also requires accepting it won't feel good most of the time. Motivation fades, excitement disappears, work becomes routine. Most days, you won't want to do it. Consistency means doing it anyway. When this acceptance of discomfort is crucial, if you wait to feel like it, you'll never be consistent. Let me explain what consistency really requires. First, consistency requires accepting gap between wanting results and wanting process. Everyone wants results. Few want the daily process that creates results. You want fitness, but don't want daily training. You want skills, but don't want daily practice. This gap must be accepted and bridged through discipline. Wanting results without loving process means consistency will always be struggle. But you don't need to love process. You need to do it anyway. Acceptance that process won't be enjoyable most days prevents quitting when enjoyment fades. Second, consistency requires showing up on bad days. Good days take care of themselves. You're motivated, energized, circumstances are favorable. Bad days test consistency. You're tired, unmotivated, busy. Consistency means showing up anyway, even if performance is reduced. Showing up on bad days is what builds real consistency. Anyone can show up when they feel like it. Consistent people show up when they don't. Third, consistency requires systems over goals. Goals provide direction. Systems provide daily action. I want to lose weight is goal. I train 30 minutes daily is system. Goals motivate initially. Systems create consistency. Focus on building reliable systems, not just setting goals. Systems are what you do regardless of results. Results come from systems, but systems operate independently of results. This separation is crucial for consistency. Fourth, consistency requires starting smaller than you want. Your ambition wants big commitments, or your consistency requires small ones. Better to consistently do less than you want than inconsistently attempt too much. Small, consistent action compounds. Large, inconsistent action doesn't. Most people start too big. They can maintain it briefly while motivated. When motivation fades, commitment is too large to maintain. They quit. Small commitments survive motivation fade. Fifth, consistency requires removing need for daily decision-making. Every decision depletes willpower. If you decide daily whether to do thing, eventually you'll decide not to. Consistency requires making decision once, then executing automatically. I work out Monday through Friday at 6 a.m., removes daily decision. You don't decide whether to work out each day. You already decided. You just execute. This removal of decision-making protects consistency. Sixth, as consistency requires preparation for obstacles. Obstacles will come. Travel, sickness, busy periods, disruptions. If you haven't prepared for these, they break consistency. Preparation means having plans for maintaining action in difficult circumstances. When I travel, I do 15-minute hotel room workout is preparation. Without preparation, travel breaks consistency. With preparation, consistency continues through obstacles. Seventh, consistency requires tracking. What gets measured improves. What gets tracked gets done. When you track whether you did thing, you create accountability to yourself. This accountability supports consistency. Tracking shows patterns. You see streaks building. You see where consistency breaks. This visibility creates motivation to maintain streaks and identify where systems need improvement. Eighth, consistency requires identity alignment. If you see yourself as a person who does this thing, consistency is easier. If it's behavior you're trying to force onto unwilling identity, consistency is harder. Building identity around consistent behavior is powerful. I am runner is stronger than I'm trying to run consistently. First is identity. Second is effort. Identity supports consistency better than effort. Ninth, consistency requires forgiving breaks quickly. You will miss sometimes. This is inevitable. Consistency requires not letting one miss become two, not letting temporary break become permanent quit. Quick forgiveness and return to action maintains long-term consistency despite short-term imperfection. Many people quit after one miss because they see it as failure. Consistent people see one miss as normal fluctuation, not failure. They return immediately. 10th, consistency requires measuring progress over long time frames. Daily progress is often invisible. Weekly progress is small. Monthly progress is noticeable. Yearly progress is dramatic. Consistency requires accepting daily invisibility while trusting long-term compound. If you need daily evidence of progress, you'll quit. Progress from consistency shows in months and years, not days and weeks. This long-term perspective is essential. Here's what real consistency looks like. You've committed to daily writing. Most days you write, some days you miss. When you miss, you write next day without drama. You don't need to feel inspired to write. You don't wait for perfect conditions. You write because that's what you do. Over months, word count accumulates. Over a year, you've written substantially. Not from perfect daily execution, from persistent, imperfect consistency. Compared to unrealistic consistency expectation, you've committed to daily writing. You write perfectly for 2 weeks. You miss one day. You see this as failure. You quit. All progress stops. Your unrealistic expectation of perfection destroyed actual consistency that was developing. Understanding what consistency really requires prevents this self-sabotage. It allows imperfect consistency to continue, which is what creates results. Here's your practice. Examine your past attempts at consistency. Where did you quit? Usually after first miss. Why? Because you expected perfection. Now you know consistency doesn't require perfection. It requires persistence through imperfection. Also identify where you started too big, relied on motivation, or needed daily evidence of progress. These unrealistic requirements prevented consistency. Now you can build more realistic approach. Understand what consistency really requires. Accept gap between wanting results and process. Show up on bad days. Build systems over goals. Start smaller than you want. Remove daily decision-making. Prepare for obstacles. Track your action. Build consistent identity. Forgive breaks quickly. Measure progress long-term. Chapter 2. Make commitments you'll actually keep. Most people make commitments they won't keep. Not because they're dishonest, because they're unrealistic. They commit based on motivation in moment rather than capability over time. When motivation fades, commitment is unsustainable. They break commitment. This pattern destroys trust in themselves and undermines future consistency. Making commitments you'll actually keep requires understanding difference between aspirational commitments and sustainable commitments. Aspirational is what you want to do. Sustainable is what you can actually maintain. Consistency requires sustainable commitments, not aspirational ones. Your past broken commitments have damaged your self-trust. Each broken commitment proves to your subconscious that your commitments don't matter. Nara, this makes future consistency harder. Rebuilding self-trust requires making and keeping commitments consistently. This starts with making only commitments you'll actually keep. Let me teach you how to make keepable commitments. First, commit to minimum viable action, not ideal. Ideal is what you'd do if motivated, energized, and free. Minimum viable is smallest action that counts. You want to train 1 hour daily. Minimum viable is 10 minutes. Commit to minimum viable. Do more when you can. But minimum is what you commit to. This prevents breaking commitment on bad days. 10 minutes is achievable even when you're tired. 1 hour isn't. Keeping minimum viable commitment maintains consistency. Breaking large commitment ends it. Second, test commitment for 1 week before declaring it. Don't announce you're doing something daily for a year. You try it for 1 week. If you maintain it easily, extend a month. If you maintain month, extend to 3 months. Build commitment incrementally. This prevents overcommitting. Week-long commitment is easier to keep than year-long. Once you've kept weekly commitment for months, it becomes long-term habit without dramatic declaration. Third, commit to specific frequency and duration. I'll exercise more is vague. I'll run 20 minutes Monday, Wednesday, Friday is specific. Specificity creates accountability. Vagueness allows excuses. Make commitments specific enough to know clearly whether you kept them. Specific commitments also help planning. You know exactly when to do things. This removes uncertainty that creates inconsistency. Fourth, commit only when rested and calm. Don't make commitments when motivated, excited, or inspired. These emotional states aren't sustainable. They create unsustainable commitments. Make commitments when calm and realistic about your actual capacity. Will calm, realistic me be able to do this consistently? Is a better question than, does excited me want to do this? Fifth, consider worst-case scenarios. Can you keep this commitment when traveling, when sick, when busy? If not, either build in flexibility or adjust commitment. Commitments that only work under ideal conditions will break under normal conditions. I can do this even when is test for sustainable commitment. If answer is no, commitment needs adjustment. Sixth, commit to actions, not outcomes. You control actions. You don't fully control outcomes. I'll write 500 words daily is controllable. I'll finish a novel in 3 months depends on factors beyond daily control. Our action commitments create consistency. Outcome commitments create disappointment. You can keep action commitments regardless of results. You can't keep outcome commitments if outcomes don't cooperate. Seventh, make fewer, stronger commitments. Don't commit to 10 new habits simultaneously. Commit to 1 or 2. Maintain those consistently. Add more only after first commitments are established habits. Multiple weak commitments break easily. Few strong commitments maintain. Your consistency capacity is limited. Use it on few important commitments rather than many aspirational ones. Eighth, write commitments down specifically. Written commitment is real. Mental commitment is flexible. Write exactly what you're committing to, when you'll do it, how long, what minimum viable is. This written specificity creates accountability. Review written commitments regularly. They remind you of what you committed to when memory fades. Ninth, share commitment selectively. Telling everyone creates pressure, but not necessarily consistency. Telling one trusted person who will hold you accountable creates useful support. Choose accountability partner carefully, someone who will check on you without judging. Right accountability supports consistency. Wrong accountability creates pressure that backfires. No accountability allows easy quitting. 10th, build identity around keeping commitments. See yourself as person who keeps their word, especially to themselves. This identity makes breaking commitments harder. You're not just breaking behavior pattern, you're violating identity. This creates powerful motivation to keep commitments. I am person who keeps commitments is identity that supports consistency. I'm trying to keep commitments is effort that collapses. Here's what keepable commitment looks like. You want to build meditation habit. Instead of committing to 30 minutes daily indefinitely, you commit to 2 minutes Monday through Friday for 1 month. This is minimum viable, specific, time-tested, realistic. You keep this commitment easily. After a month, extend to 3 months. After 3 months, increase to 5 minutes. You build habit through realistic commitments you actually keep. Compared to unkept commitment, you commit to 30 minutes daily meditation indefinitely. You do it for a week while motivated. Week 2, you're busy. You skip few days. You feel like failure. You quit. Aspirational commitment broke quickly. No habit formed. Self-trust damaged. Hey, here's your practice. Current or upcoming commitment, test against these criteria. Is it minimum viable or ideal? Is it specific? Are you making it in calm, realistic state? Can you keep it in worst case? Is it action-based? Is it one of few commitments or one of many? Will you write it down? Adjust commitment to meet these criteria. Make it keepable, then keep it. Each kept commitment builds self-trust. Each broken one damages it. Make only commitments you'll keep. Make commitments you'll actually keep. Commit to minimum viable, not ideal. Test for a week before declaring. Make specific. Commit when calm. Consider worst case. Commit to actions, not outcomes. Make fewer, stronger commitments. Write down. Share selectively. Build commitment-keeping identity. Chapter 3. Build systems that support consistency. Relying on willpower and motivation guarantees inconsistency. Willpower depletes. Motivation fluctuates. You need systems that support consistency regardless of your internal state. Systems are external structures that make consistent action easier. They remove decisions, reduce friction, provide reminders, and create accountability. Well-designed systems make consistency almost automatic. You still need some discipline, but system does heavy lifting. Poorly designed life makes consistency heroic effort. Well-designed life makes consistency default path. Building these systems is crucial for sustained consistency. Most people try to be consistent through sheer force. They use willpower to overcome friction, environment, and lack of structure. This works briefly. Then willpower depletes, motivation fades, and consistency ends. Systems prevent this by creating an environment where consistency is easier than inconsistency. Let me teach you to build consistency-supporting systems. First, schedule consistent actions at consistent times. Don't decide each day when to do it. Have set time. I run at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Removes daily decision about when. Your calendar decides, you execute. This scheduling is powerful system. Consistent time creates habit. Your body and mind expect action at that time. This expectation supports execution. Varying time requires constant willpower. Consistent time leverages habit. Second, use environmental design. Make consistent action easiest path. Gym clothes out the night before. Writing space already set up. Healthy food visible and accessible. When an environment either supports or undermines consistency, design it to support. When consistent action requires setup, friction prevents consistency. When environment is pre-designed, consistency is natural path. Use environment deliberately. Third, build pre-commitment devices, systems that commit you before you can change your mind. Prepaying for class, scheduling sessions with others, public declarations. These devices remove option to quit without cost. Pre-commitment works because decision is made in advance. When time comes to act, you've already committed. Backing out has consequences. This protects consistency from moment-to-moment motivation fluctuations. Fourth, create if-then implementation intentions. If it's 6 a.m. Monday, then I run is implementation intention. It links situation to action automatically. Your brain recognizes situation, triggers action. This reduces need for conscious decision-making. Multiple implementation intentions create comprehensive system. If busy, then 10-minute version. If traveling, then hotel room workout. These intentions handle various scenarios, maintaining consistency through different circumstances. Fifth, use tracking systems that create visibility. App, spreadsheet, calendar, whatever works. Track whether you did committed action. This visible record creates accountability and motivation. Seeing streak building creates desire to maintain it. Seeing gaps shows where system needs work. Tracking is system that provides feedback. Without feedback, consistency is invisible until results show. With tracking, consistency is visible immediately. Sixth, build accountability systems. Accountability partner who checks in. Coach who reviews progress. Group that maintains commitment together. Public sharing of results. These systems create external accountability that supports internal commitment. Knowing someone will ask whether you did it increases likelihood you'll do it. External accountability supplements internal motivation, maintaining consistency when internal motivation is low. Seventh, create reward systems for consistency. Not outcome rewards, consistency rewards. After 30 days of consistent action, reward yourself. After 90 days, bigger reward. These rewards celebrate consistency itself, reinforcing the behavior. Rewards work best when immediate. Daily tracking with satisfaction of mark is immediate reward. Monthly celebration is larger reward. Both reinforce consistency. Eighth, must build recovery systems for breaks. You will miss sometimes. System for recovering quickly prevents one miss from becoming permanent break. If I miss, I do double tomorrow. Or, if I miss, I analyze why and adjust system are recovery systems. Without recovery system, people spiral after first miss. With recovery system, they return quickly. Quick return maintains long-term consistency. Ninth, automate what can be automated. Bill pay, meal prep, content scheduling, whatever can be automated. Automation removes need for consistency in that area, freeing willpower for areas that can't be automated. You have finite willpower and attention. Automating secondary activities preserves resources for primary consistency challenges. 10th, review and refine systems regularly. Monthly, review what's working and what's not. Adjust systems. What friction is preventing consistency? What support would help? Continuous refinement makes systems increasingly effective. Systems that worked initially might need adjustment as circumstances change. Regular review prevents systems from becoming obsolete. Here's what system-supported consistency looks like. You want to build writing habit? You schedule 6 a.m. writing time Monday through Friday. You prepare writing space night before. You use implementation intention. If 6 a.m., then write. You track daily on calendar, marking X for each completed session. You have accountability partner who checks in weekly. After 30 days, you reward yourself. When you miss, you analyze why and adjust system. These systems make consistency significantly easier than relying on daily willpower. Compared to willpower-dependent attempt, what you want to write consistently, you plan to write when you have time. No set schedule, no prepared space, no tracking, no accountability. You rely entirely on remembering and wanting to write each day. This works when motivated, fails when motivation fades. Consistency never develops. Here's your practice. For commitment, you're building consistency around design comprehensive system, set consistent time, design environment to support it, create implementation intentions, set up tracking, establish accountability if helpful, plan recovery process, build these systems before relying on them. Systems designed in advance work. Systems improvised during struggle usually don't. Build systems that support consistency. Schedule at consistent times. Use environmental design. Build pre-commitment devices. Create implementation intentions. And use tracking systems. Build accountability. Create reward systems. Build recovery systems. Automate what's possible. Review and refine regularly. Chapter 4. Start so small success is inevitable. One of biggest consistency mistakes is starting too big. Ambition wants dramatic action. Consistency requires minimal action. The smaller you start, the more likely you'll maintain it. Counterintuitive but true. Better to consistently do tiny action that compounds than inconsistently attempt large action that quits. Starting ridiculously small removes common barriers to consistency. It eliminates excuse of not having time. It prevents overwhelm. It ensures you can do it even on worst days. This guaranteed success builds momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence supports expansion. But it starts with action so small, failure is nearly impossible. Most people resist starting small. Ego says it's too easy, not worth doing. But ego prefers dramatic failure to modest success. Consistency prefers modest success to dramatic failure. Starting small is ego subordination in service of actual progress. Let me teach you to start ridiculously small. First, identify minimum viable action for your goal. Want to build exercise habit? One push-up daily is minimum viable. Want to build meditation? 2 minutes daily. Want to build writing? 50 words daily. Find actions so small you can't justify missing it. This minimum viable is your actual commitment, not what you hope to do, what you commit to. You'll often do more, but minimum is what you must do. This guarantee of success maintains consistency. Second, make it ridiculously easy for first 30 days. Month of guaranteed success builds habit foundation. Don't increase difficulty until habit is automatic. 2 minutes meditation for 30 days. Then consider increasing. But not before. Most people increase too quickly. Habit hasn't formed. Increased difficulty breaks fragile consistency. Stay at easy level until it's truly habitual. Then increase gradually. Third, focus on showing up, not performance. First 30 days goal is consistency, not quality. One push-up with terrible form counts. 50 mediocre words count. Showing up matters. Performance doesn't yet. This removes perfectionism that prevents consistency. Perfectionism says, if I can't do it well, I won't do it at all. Consistency says something is infinitely better than nothing. Choose consistency. Fourth, use 2-minute rule. Any activity can be started in 2 minutes. Can't meditate 20 minutes? Can start with 2. Can't run 5K? Can put on shoes? Can't write essay? Can write 1 sentence. 2 minutes of start is all you commit to. Usually you'll continue beyond 2 minutes, but commitment is just to start. This rule overcomes inertia. Starting is hardest part. 2-minute commitment makes starting inevitable. Fifth, celebrate small wins. Completed your 1 push-up? Celebrate. 2-minute meditation? Celebrate. This isn't sarcasm. These small actions are building consistency. Consistency is what creates long-term results. Celebrate consistency itself, regardless of magnitude. Many people dismiss small actions as not worth celebrating. This dismissal undermines consistency. Celebrate because you're building the capability that changes everything. Sixth, ignore people who mock small starts. They'll say 1 push-up is pointless. They're wrong. They're confusing single action with pattern of consistent action. 1 push-up is nothing. 1 push-up daily for a year is 365 push-ups, plus all the days you did more, plus established habit. Their mockery comes from not understanding compound consistency. Let them mock. You're building consistency while they're starting and stopping dramatic programs. Seventh, expect to do more than minimum most days. Minimum is floor, not ceiling. Most days you'll exceed it. You commit to 1 push-up, but do 10. 2 minutes meditation, but do 20. Minimum is what ensures consistency on bad days. Most days aren't worse days. You'll naturally exceed minimum. This creates positive cycle. Small commitment maintained consistently. Frequent exceeding of minimum. Confidence building. Habit strengthening. Results accumulating. Eighth, resist temptation to increase too quickly. When first week feels easy, ego wants to prove capability by increasing. Resist this. Stay at small commitment for at least 30 days. Let habit form solidly before increasing. Quick increases often break consistency. You've created unrealistic new expectation before habit formed. Habit breaks. Consistency ends. Stay small longer than feels necessary. Ninth, understand that small actions compound. 1 push-up daily for a year won't create impressive physique, but it creates push-up habit. That habit supports expanding to broader workout. That workout creates fitness. Fitness creates lifestyle change. All from ridiculously small start that maintain consistency. Compound isn't just results, it's capabilities, habits, identities. Small consistent actions compound into transformed life. Dramatic inconsistent actions compound into nothing. 10th, use smallness to eliminate all excuses. I don't have time for 1 push-up is obviously false. I'm too tired for 2 minutes meditation is hard to justify. Smallness removes all legitimate excuses. When you can't keep absurdly small commitment, real issue is commitment itself. not circumstances. This forces honesty. Either you're committed or you're not. Smallness removes excuse barrier to seeing truth. Here's what starting small looks like. You want to build fitness habit. You commit to one push-up daily, just one, no matter what. You do this for 30 days. Most days you do more. Some days just one, but every day at least one. After 30 days, habit is forming. You increase to 5 push-ups minimum. After 60 days, 10. After 90 days, full workout. 1 year later, you're consistently fit, all from starting ridiculously small. Compared to starting big, you commit to hour-long workout daily. Week 1 is great. Week 2 is hard. Week 3, you miss few days. Week 4, you quit. Too much too soon. Consistency never developed. No habit formed. No results achieved. Here's your practice. Whatever consistency you're building, cut your minimum commitment in half. Then cut it in half again. That's your real commitment. Ridiculously small. Absurdly easy. Do this minimum daily for 30 days. Track every day. Never miss. After 30 days, assess whether to increase slightly. This practice proves that starting small works. You'll maintain consistency easily. You'll often exceed minimum. You'll build confidence in your ability to keep commitments. This foundation supports all future consistency. Start so small, success is inevitable. Identify minimum viable action. Make it ridiculously easy for 30 days. Focus on showing up, not performance. Use 2-minute rule. Celebrate small wins. Ignore mockers. Expect to exceed minimum. Resist increasing too quickly. Understand compound. Use smallness to eliminate excuses. Chapter 5. Never miss twice in a row. Perfect consistency is impossible. You will miss sometimes. Sickness, travel, emergencies. Life happens. Missing once doesn't destroy consistency. Missing twice starts pattern. Pattern becomes quit. The key to long-term consistency is never missing twice in a row. This single rule, never miss twice, is perhaps most powerful consistency tool. It acknowledges reality of occasional misses while preventing those misses from becoming trends. 1 miss is acceptable fluctuation. 2 misses in row is beginning of end. This rule maintains long-term consistency while allowing short-term imperfection. Most people's consistency breaks when they miss once. They see miss as failure, feel guilty, miss next day too. Then it becomes easier to miss than to resume. Before they know it, week has passed with no action. A consistency is broken. Never miss twice prevents this spiral. Let me teach you to never miss twice. First, accept that you will miss sometimes. This isn't permission to miss. It's acknowledgement of reality. When you accept occasional misses as normal rather than catastrophic, you can recover quickly. If missing means consistency is ruined, you'll quit after first miss. If missing is normal fluctuation requiring quick return, you'll maintain long-term consistency. The difference between consistent and inconsistent people isn't never missing. It's returning immediately after missing. Second, establish never miss twice as non-negotiable rule. Write it down. I may miss once. I never miss twice. This rule protects long-term consistency. Even when you don't want to do thing, even when you missed yesterday, you do it today because rule says no 2 in row. This rule is boundary between temporary slip and permanent quit. Defending this boundary maintains consistency through life's inevitable disruptions. Third, plan minimum viable version for potential missed days. If you miss day 1, day 2 might be difficult day. Have plan for absolute minimum that counts. Can't do full workout? 5-minute version counts. Can't do full writing session? 1 paragraph counts. Something always beats nothing when preventing second miss. This planned minimum makes day 2 return achievable even when circumstances are still difficult. Without it, day 2 feels impossible. Impossible becomes skip. Skip becomes pattern. Fourth, identify your typical miss patterns. When do you usually miss? End of week, beginning, during travel, when stressed. Knowing patterns lets you prepare. I struggle Friday, so Friday gets special attention, prevents predictable Friday misses. Patterns aren't inevitable. They're predictable. Predictable can be prevented with planning. Fifth, make day after miss sacred. Mark it on calendar. Set extra reminders. Tell accountability partner, this day determines whether consistency maintains or breaks. Treating it as special prevents casual second miss. Most people treat day after miss casually. I already missed yesterday, what's one more? This casual attitude destroys consistency. Treating day after miss as crucial maintains it. Sixth, use 5-minute rule on day after miss. Commit to 5 minutes, just 5. This overcomes resistance to resuming. 5 minutes is short enough to be non-threatening, but long enough to count. Usually you'll continue beyond 5, but commitment is just 5. This rule prevents the "I'll start tomorrow" cycle that follows first miss. Tomorrow becomes today's 5 minutes. 7. Analyze misses to improve system. Why did you miss? Legitimate, unavoidable circumstance? Or system weakness? Travel is unavoidable. Forgetting because no reminder is system weakness. Learn from each miss to prevent similar future misses. Misses are data about your system. Use them to improve. Don't just regret and forget them. Eighth, distinguish between types of misses. Legitimate miss, sick, emergency, unavoidable conflict. Convenience miss, too tired, didn't feel like it, other things seemed more important. Legitimate miss deserves compassion. Convenience miss deserves honest evaluation. Most misses are convenience, not legitimate. I'm being honest about this prevents using excuses as reasons. Excuses accumulate. Honesty maintains consistency. Ninth, keep miss recovery simple. Don't create elaborate recommitment ceremony. Don't punish yourself. Just do the thing today. That's all recovery requires. Simple return, no drama, no guilt spiral, just action. Complicated recovery processes delay return. Simple return maintains consistency. I missed yesterday. I'm doing it today is sufficient. 10th, track misses and recoveries. Mark misses on your tracking. Also, mark successful day 2 returns. Seeing pattern of quick recoveries proves you can maintain consistency despite occasional misses. This proof builds confidence that supports future consistency. If you see pattern of double misses, you know rule needs stronger enforcement. Tracking makes patterns visible. Here's what never miss twice looks like. You're building daily writing habit. Monday through Friday, you write. Saturday, you travel, miss writing. This is okay. Sunday, despite still traveling, you write on laptop in hotel for 15 minutes. Minimum viable, but counts. Consistency maintained. Never miss twice. Week later, you're sick Tuesday, miss writing. Wednesday, still feeling poor, you write 1 paragraph. 5 minutes, barely anything. But you wrote. Never miss twice. Consistency continues. Compared to missing twice, you miss Saturday. Sunday, you think, I'll restart Monday. Monday, you're busy. I'll restart Tuesday. Tuesday becomes Wednesday. Weeks pass. Consistency is gone. All because you allowed yourself to miss twice after first miss. Here's your practice. For current consistency commitment, establish never miss twice as explicit rule. Write it prominently. Share with accountability partner. Next time you miss, and you will, make next day non-negotiable. Do minimum viable version if needed. But do something. Never miss twice. Track this rule. Mark single misses. Mark successful day 2 returns. Over months, you'll see that never miss twice maintains consistency that would otherwise break. Never miss twice in a row, except you'll miss sometimes. Establish never miss twice as non-negotiable rule. Plan minimum version for difficult day 2. Identify your miss patterns. Make day after miss sacred. Use 5-minute rule. Analyze misses to improve. Distinguish miss types. Keep recovery simple. Track misses and recoveries. Chapter 6. Track to create. Accountability. What gets measured improves. What gets tracked gets done. This isn't just saying, it's psychological reality. When you track whether you did something, you create visibility and accountability. This visibility dramatically increases consistency. Without tracking, consistency is invisible until results show. With tracking, consistency is immediately visible. Tracking also provides data. You see patterns. where consistency is strong, where it breaks, what circumstances support or undermine it. This data enables improvement. You're not guessing why consistency breaks. You have evidence showing exactly when and why. Most people resist tracking. Seems tedious, bureaucratic, unnecessary. But resistance to tracking often reveals resistance to accountability. Tracking makes consistency undeniable. Yeah, you either did it or you didn't. This stark visibility is uncomfortable, but it's also what maintains consistency. Let me teach you to use tracking for consistency. First, choose simple tracking method. Don't make tracking complicated. Complicated tracking becomes burden that gets abandoned. Simple is sustainable. X on calendar. Check mark in app, number in spreadsheet. Whatever works, keep it simple. If tracking takes more than 30 seconds, it's too complex. Simplicity ensures tracking itself stays consistent. Second, track action, not outcome. You control action. You don't fully control outcome. Did I write today? Is trackable action. Did I write something good? Is subjective outcome. Track objective actions you committed to. This removes judgment, making tracking honest. Tracking outcomes creates discouragement when outcomes are poor despite consistent action. Tracking action maintains motivation because action is always within your control. Third, make tracking immediately visible. Place tracker where you'll see it daily. Calendar on wall, app on phone home screen, spreadsheet that opens automatically. Visibility creates accountability. Hidden tracking is forgotten tracking. Visual reminder of tracking prompts, action. You see the tracker, remember commitment, take action to mark it complete. Fourth, use chain method. Mark each day you complete action. Chain of marked days builds. Breaking chain feels costly. This creates motivation to maintain chain. Comedian Jerry Seinfeld famously used this to maintain daily writing. Chain becomes valuable. You don't want to break it. Visual representation of streak is powerful motivator. Seeing 30-day streak creates desire to reach 60. This compounds motivation as chain grows. Fifth, track consistency percentage over meaningful time frame. Daily perfection is unrealistic, but 90% consistency over month is excellent. 80% over month is good. Track percentage. This acknowledges reality that some misses happen while showing strong overall consistency. Percentage tracking prevents all or nothing thinking. Missing one day doesn't mean week is ruined. It means you're at 86% for week. Still strong. This prevents quit after miss spiral. Sixth, review tracking data regularly. Weekly and monthly, review your tracker. Where are patterns? What days are strongest? Weakest? What circumstances support consistency? What undermines it? Use this data to improve system. Tracking without review is wasted data. Regular review turns data into improvement. Seventh, share tracking with accountability partner. Someone who checks your tracker regularly. This external visibility increases accountability. You're not just accountable to yourself. Someone else sees whether you're maintaining consistency. Choose accountability partner carefully. Someone supportive but honest, who will notice gaps without harsh judgment, who celebrates consistency with you. Eighth, celebrate milestones. 7 days, 30 days, 90 days, 365 days. These milestones mark significant consistency. Acknowledge them, celebrate, reward yourself. This reinforces that consistency itself is achievement worth celebrating. Many people only celebrate results, not consistency. But consistency is the achievement that creates results. Celebrate it directly. When ninth, analyze breaks in consistency through tracking. When chain breaks, why? Tracking shows circumstances around break. Was it predictable? Preventable? What system adjustment would prevent similar future break? Each break is learning opportunity. Tracking provides data to learn from. Without tracking, breaks happen and you don't know why. With tracking, patterns become obvious. 10th, keep tracking forever. Don't track for a month, then stop. Tracking is ongoing practice. Even after habit is solid, tracking maintains it. Tracking never becomes unnecessary. It becomes easier as habit strengthens, but remains valuable. People who stop tracking often see consistency decline. Visibility was supporting consistency. Remove visibility, consistency weakens. Keep tracking. Here's what tracking supported consistency looks like. Yet you're building reading habit. You mark X on calendar each day you read. Chain grows. After 40 days, you miss one. You see the gap. Next day, you prioritize reading to avoid second miss. Chain continues with small gap. You review monthly. You notice you miss more on Fridays. You adjust Friday system. Consistency improves. After 90 days, you celebrate. Tracking made all this visible and actionable. Compare to untracked consistency. You're trying to read daily. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't. You think you're doing okay, but you have no data, no visibility into patterns, no celebration of milestones, no analysis of breaks. Consistency is vague intention without concrete reality. Here's your practice. Set up tracking system today. Calendar, app, spreadsheet, whatever works. Make it visible. Mark today's action. Continue daily. Review weekly. After 30 days, analyze data. What patterns do you see? How has tracking affected your consistency? Most people find tracking dramatically improves consistency. Track to create accountability. Choose simple method. Track action, not outcome. Make tracking visible. Use chain method. Track percentage over time frame. Review data regularly. Share with accountability partner. Celebrate milestones. Analyze breaks. Keep tracking forever. Chapter 7. Remove friction that creates resistance. Consistency isn't just about willpower. It's about reducing friction. Friction is any obstacle between intention and action. The more friction, the more willpower required. The more willpower required, the less consistent you'll be. Removing friction makes consistency dramatically easier. Most people try to be consistent while living in high-friction environments. Gym clothes buried in drawer. Healthy food hidden behind junk. Writing space cluttered and uncomfortable. Each friction point requires willpower to overcome. Willpower depletes. Consistency ends. Small friction points seem trivial. Finding shoes costs 30 seconds. But those 30 seconds are decision point where consistency breaks. On an I don't know where shoes are becomes I'll skip today. Removing these trivial friction points prevents consistency from breaking at decision points. Let me teach you to remove friction. First, identify all friction points in your consistency chain. Map out every step from intention to completion. Where is friction? Where does resistance arise? Write every friction point, no matter how small. 20-second delay finding equipment, uncomfortable workspace, unclear next action. All friction points matter. You can't remove friction you haven't identified. Comprehensive mapping is essential. Second, prepare everything the night before. Gym clothes out, lunch packed, writing space set up, everything ready. Morning you just executes, no preparation, no decisions, no friction. Morning willpower is highest, waste it preparing. Well, you might not have enough left for action. Use it only for action itself. Third, reduce steps between intention and action. Can't reduce to zero, but fewer steps means less friction. Exercise equipment in easy reach. Reading material on bedside table. Healthy food at eye level. Each removed step makes action easier. More steps means more decision points. More decision points means more opportunities to quit. Fewer steps protects consistency. Fourth, make consistent action easier than alternative. If going to gym is easier than avoiding gym, you'll go. If healthy food is more accessible than junk, you'll eat healthy. Design environments so consistent action is path of least resistance. Most people design environments where inconsistency is easier. Couch is comfortable. Junk food is convenient. Distractions are available. Then they wonder why consistency is hard. Reverse the design. Fifth, batch preparation to reduce repeated friction. Meal prep Sunday for week. Set out week's workout clothes. Create week's writing outlines. Do preparation once. Eliminate daily friction. This multiplies efficiency and reduces consistency barriers. Daily preparation creates daily friction. Weekly batching creates friction once, removes it for days. Sixth, simplify the process. Complex processes have more friction points. Simpler process means fewer obstacles. Can't simplify? Break into smallest components. Do one component. Add next later. Simple, consistent action beats complex, inconsistent action. Complexity is friction. Every additional step, tool, or requirement adds friction. Relentless simplification removes it. 7. Remove competing temptations. Delete social media apps, cancel cable, remove junk food. Competing temptations create friction by requiring active resistance. Removing them eliminates that friction. You can't be tempted by what's not available. Every temptation resisted depletes willpower. Remove temptations. Preserve willpower for consistency. 8th, create positive environment cues. Visual reminders of commitment, equipment visible, progress displayed. These cues reduce friction by prompting action without requiring you to remember. Environment reminds you. Memory is unreliable. Environmental cues are constant. Use environment to maintain consistency. 9th, eliminate decision-making. Don't decide what workout to do. Have program. Don't decide what to write. Have outline. Don't decide what to eat. Have meal plan. Decisions create friction. Pre-decisions remove it. Each decision depletes willpower slightly. Eliminate unnecessary decisions. Save willpower for doing, not deciding. 10th, test friction removal effectiveness. After removing friction, is consistency easier? If yes, look for more friction to remove. If no, you haven't found real friction. Keep investigating. Effective friction removal makes noticeable difference. This testing prevents wasting effort on non-impactful changes while identifying high-impact friction removal. Here's what friction removal looks like. You're building morning workout habit. High friction, clothes in dresser, equipment in closet, workout plan unclear. You remove friction, clothes on chair night before, equipment in open access, workout written on board. Morning arrives, you see clothes, put them on, see equipment, use it, see workout, do it, minimal decisions. So minimal friction, consistent action. Compare to high friction. Morning arrives, find clothes, find equipment, decide workout. Each step requires willpower and decision. Tired morning, any step becomes excuse to skip. Consistency breaks regularly. Here's your practice. Map every step from intention to completion of your consistency commitment. Identify friction at each step. Prioritize top 5 friction points. Remove them this week. Prepare night before. Reduce steps. Simplify process. Remove competing temptations. After 1 week, assess. Is consistency easier? How much? Remove more friction. Continue until consistency feels significantly easier than before. Remove friction that creates resistance. Identify all friction points. Prepare night before. Reduce steps. Make consistent action easiest path. Batch preparation. Simplify process. Remove competing temptations. Create environmental cues. Eliminate decisions. Test effectiveness. Chapter 8. Prepare for obstacles. Obstacles will come. Guaranteed. Travel, illness, schedule changes, unexpected demands, life disruptions. If you haven't prepared for these, they'll break your consistency. If you have prepared, consistency continues through difficulties. Preparation is difference between temporary disruption and permanent quit. Most people's consistency breaks during first major obstacle. Didn't plan for it. Don't know how to maintain commitment in different circumstances. Quit feels like only option. But obstacles are predictable. Preparation makes them manageable rather than insurmountable. Preparation doesn't mean preventing obstacles. You can't. Preparation means having plans for maintaining consistency despite obstacles. These plans are safety net that catches you when circumstances get difficult. Let me teach you to prepare for obstacles. First, anticipate likely obstacles. What typically disrupts your routines? Travel, work deadlines, family obligations, illness. List predictable obstacles. These aren't surprises. They're recurring patterns. Preparing for them is preparing for reality, not pessimism. Obstacles you've prepared for don't break consistency. Only unexpected obstacles that you haven't planned for threaten it. Second, Create contingency plans for each obstacle. If travel, then hotel room workout. If sick, then minimum viable version. If schedule changes, then adapt time. Each contingency plan is specific action for specific obstacle. I'll figure it out when it happens isn't plan. Specific contingency is plan. Write these down. They're your obstacle protocols. Third, establish minimum viable version for obstacles. I can't do full action. What's minimum that maintains consistency? During travel, 10 minutes instead of hour. During illness, 1 round instead of 3. During busy period, early morning instead of evening. Minimum viable version prevents all or nothing thinking. Something is infinitely better than nothing. Minimum viable maintains consistency when full action is impossible. Fourth, prepare tools for portable consistency. Travel workout, bodyweight exercises, resistance band, mobile writing, laptop, notebook, portable meditation, app, anywhere. Equipment that travels with you enables consistency regardless of location. Location-dependent consistency is fragile. Location-independent consistency is robust. Preparation makes consistency portable. Fifth, schedule around predictable obstacles. Know you travel next month? Plan now how to maintain consistency. No week will be busy? Adjust schedule preemptively. Proactive scheduling prevents obstacles from becoming surprises. Reactive approach. Obstacle arrives, scrambles to adapt, often fails. Proactive approach. Obstacle anticipated, plan ready, consistency maintains. 6. Communicate boundaries around consistency commitments. Others need to know these matter to you. I need 30 minutes morning for workout, creates space. Without communication, others' demands fill all available time. With clear boundaries, space is protected. This isn't selfish. This is protecting what matters. Others will respect boundaries if you communicate them clearly and maintain them consistently. 7th, prepare mental strategies for motivation dips during obstacles. Obstacles coincide with low motivation. Nana have prepared motivational tools, written reminder of why this matters, accountability check-in scheduled, reward for maintaining during difficulty. Obstacles plus low motivation equals broken consistency without preparation. With preparation, consistency can maintain. 8th, use if-then planning for specific obstacles. If morning workout is impossible, then lunch workout. If writing time is interrupted, then right before bed. Specific if-then plans reduce decision-making during obstacles. Obstacles create stress and time pressure. Pre-made decisions remove need to figure out what to do under pressure. 9th, review past obstacles for patterns. When has consistency broken before? What obstacles caused it? These patterns reveal what you need to prepare for. Past is teacher for future preparation. Ignoring past obstacles means repeating past breaks. Learning from them means preventing future breaks. 10th, accept that some obstacles will break consistency despite preparation. Perfect consistency through all possible obstacles is unrealistic. Preparation dramatically reduces breaks, but some will happen. Return quickly using never miss twice rule. Preparation plus quick recovery maintains long-term consistency. Here's what obstacle preparation looks like. You maintain daily morning running habit. You know travel next month. You prepare, research hotel gyms, pack running shoes, plan routes, schedule running times in calendar, arrange early wake-up. Travel arrives. Morning gym session happens in hotel gym instead of home route. Consistency maintains. Obstacle was prepared for. Compare to no preparation, same travel, no plan. A hotel gym unknown. Shoes unpacked. Schedule unclear. Morning arrives busy with meetings. Running doesn't happen. Consistency breaks. Returns uncertain. Here's your practice. List 3 most likely obstacles to your consistency. For each, create specific contingency plan. Write these plans where you'll see them. If X obstacle occurs, I will do Y action. Next time obstacle occurs, execute plan. Consistency continues despite difficulty. Also identify what tools or preparation would help. Acquire them now. Don't wait until obstacle arrives. Preparation happens before need, not during. Prepare for obstacles. Anticipate likely obstacles. Create contingency plans. Establish minimum viable version. Prepare portable tools, schedule around predictable obstacles, communicate boundaries, prepare mental strategies, use if-then planning, review past obstacles, accept some breaks will happen. Chapter 9. Build identity around consistency. Identity is a powerful force for consistency. When you are a person who does something, you do it. When you're trying to do something, you're inconsistent. Identity shift from person trying to be consistent to consistent person transforms effort into expression. Most people try to be consistent without identity shift. They see themselves as inconsistent, trying to become consistent. This identity of inconsistent person undermines every attempt at consistency. They're trying to behave contrary to their identity. This is exhausting. Identity always wins eventually. Building identity as consistent person makes consistency natural. You're not trying to be something you're not. You're being what you are. This alignment makes consistency feel like integrity rather than discipline. But you do it because that's who you are. Let me teach you to build consistent identity. First, shift language from trying to being. Not I'm trying to run regularly. I am runner. Not I'm working on writing habit. I am writer. This linguistic shift reflects and creates identity shift. Trying is temporary effort. Am is identity. Using am language tells your subconscious this is who you are, not just what you're attempting. Second, make decisions based on identity. When tempted to skip, ask, what would consistent person do? Or what would runner do? This shifts question from, do I feel like it? To, who am I? Identity-based decisions are more reliable than feeling-based decisions. Feelings fluctuate, identity is stable. Third, act from identity even when you don't feel it yet. I am consistent person said before feeling true starts creating truth. You behave consistently because that's who you've declared you are. Behavior shapes identity as much as identity shapes behavior. Don't wait to feel like consistent person before claiming identity. Claim identity, act accordingly, feeling follows. Fourth, collect evidence of new identity. Each time you show up, you're proving you're consistent. Each kept commitment reinforces identity. Actively notice these evidence points. I showed up today despite difficulty. This proves I'm a consistent person. Evidence accumulates. Accumulated evidence makes identity undeniable. You're not pretending. You have proof. Fifth, share identity with others. When asked about yourself, include your consistent identity. 1. I'm runner. I'm writer. Public claiming of identity creates additional accountability. You've told others who you are. Living accordingly maintains integrity. Private identity is easier to abandon. Public identity creates social consistency pressure in helpful way. Sixth, dress identity. How does consistent person in your area dress? Runners wear running gear. Writers have writing tools. Professional dresses professionally. External markers reinforce internal identity. This isn't superficial, it's alignment. Internal and external matching strengthens identity. Seventh, join communities that share identity. Other runners, other writers, other consistent people. Being around others who share identity normalizes it. They reflect your identity back to you. Community reinforces individual identity. Isolation makes identity feel weird. Community makes it feel normal. Normal is easier to maintain than weird. Eighth, eliminate identity conflicts. If you're a spontaneous person and consistent person, these conflict. Spontaneity undermines consistency. Choose which identity serves you. Build that. Release conflicting identities. You can't be everything. Choose identities that support goals. Release those that undermine them. Ninth, use identity statements as reminders. I am a consistent person who keeps commitments. Said daily, preferably morning. This reinforces identity. Reminder of who you are guides behavior throughout day. Repetition shapes belief. Repeated identity statement becomes internalized truth. 10th, protect identity. When you do something inconsistent with identity, it damages identity. And when I am consistent person, contradicted by missing 5 days weakens identity. Protecting identity means acting consistently enough that identity remains true. Not perfect consistency, but enough consistency that identity is accurate, not aspirational. 80 to 90% consistency maintains identity. 50% undermines it. Here's what identity-based consistency looks like. You identify as runner. Someone asks if you run. Yes, I'm runner. Morning arrives. You don't feel like running, but you're runner. Runners run. You run. Not because you felt like it, because that's who you are. Identity-determined action. Over years, this identity drives consistency that builds substantial capability. Started as aspiration, became identity through consistent action, now drives continued consistent action. Virtuous cycle, compared to no identity. You run sometimes. Someone asks if you run. I'm trying to run more. Morning arrives, don't feel like running. No identity to pull you forward. Skip feels fine. No identity violated. Inconsistency continues. Here's your practice. Choose identity statement for your consistency. I am consistent person in your area. Say it daily. Write it prominently. When making decisions, ask what that identity would do. Act accordingly. Collect evidence. Share with others. After 90 days of living this identity, it will feel true because it is true. Build identity around consistency. Shift language from trying to being. Make identity-based decisions. Act from identity before feeling it. Collect evidence. Share publicly. Dress the identity. Join communities. Eliminate conflicts. Use identity statements. Protect identity through action. Chapter 10. Recover quickly from breaks. You will break consistency sometimes. This is fact, not permission. Accepting this prevents catastrophizing single breaks into permanent quits. The key to long-term consistency isn't avoiding all breaks. It's recovering quickly when breaks happen. Speed of recovery determines whether consistency is temporary disruption or permanent ending. Most people break consistency and it stays broken. First break feels like failure. Failure creates shame. Shame creates avoidance. Avoidance becomes permanent quit. This spiral is unnecessary. Quick recovery prevents it. One-day break becomes statistical blip in otherwise consistent pattern rather than beginning of end. Recovery isn't complex. It's not elaborate recommitment ceremony. It's simply doing thing again. The sooner after break, the better. But complicated recovery processes delay return. Simple, immediate return maintains long-term consistency. Let me teach you to recover quickly from breaks. First, expect breaks to happen, not hoping for them, expecting them as reality. When you expect breaks, they don't surprise or devastate. They're anticipated part of maintaining long-term consistency. This expectation prevents breaks from feeling catastrophic. Breaks that feel catastrophic lead to quits. Breaks that feel normal lead to quick returns. Expectation determines experience. Second, have recovery protocol written in advance. When I break consistency, I specific action. This might be immediately do minimum viable version. Schedule specific time tomorrow. Contact accountability partner. Whatever your protocol, write it before break happens. During break, so decision-making is harder. Emotions are higher. Having pre-written protocol removes need to figure out what to do. You just execute protocol. Third, return immediately, ideally same day. Broke morning routine, do evening version, missed workout, 10-minute version before bed. Immediate return prevents break from extending. Same-day return means 0 days missed. Streak technically maintains. Speed of return is crucial. Today's quick return is easier than tomorrow's daunted return. Fourth, don't require motivation to return. You won't be motivated. You broke consistency. You feel bad. Motivation is absent. Return anyway, without motivation, through discipline alone. This proves discipline works when motivation doesn't. Waiting for motivation to return means waiting potentially forever. Returning without motivation means immediate return. Fifth, use 5-second rule. When you realize you've broken consistency, count down from 5. At 1, take first physical action toward resuming, before mind can generate excuses. This immediate action prevents rumination that delays return. 5 seconds isn't enough time to build case for not returning. It forces action before rationalization. Sixth, treat return as fresh start, not punishment. You're not making up for failure. You're resuming consistent action. This frame prevents return from feeling like penance you must endure. It's just continuation of pattern with small gap. Punishment frame creates resistance to return. Fresh start frame creates openness to continuing. 7. Analyze break to prevent similar future breaks. What caused this one? Avoidable or unavoidable? If avoidable, what system change would prevent it? If unavoidable, what contingency plan would maintain consistency through similar future obstacles? Each break is learning opportunity if analyzed. Without analysis, breaks repeat for same reasons. 8th, forgive yourself quickly and completely. Extended self-punishment doesn't improve future consistency. It delays return and undermines confidence. Quick, complete forgiveness enables quick return and maintains confidence that supports future consistency. Self-punishment is ego protecting itself from feeling inadequate. It doesn't serve consistency. Forgiveness does. 9th, share return with accountability partner. I broke consistency yesterday. I returned today. Public acknowledgement of both break and return reinforces return pattern. Your accountability partner celebrates return. And this positive reinforcement supports future quick returns. Hidden breaks and returns have less power. Shared breaks and returns create learning and support. 10th, mark recovery on tracking. Don't hide break. Mark it. Also mark successful return. Over time, tracking shows pattern of breaks and quick returns. This pattern proves you can maintain long-term consistency despite short-term breaks. Pattern is more important than individual breaks. Here's what quick recovery looks like. You maintain daily writing habit. Wednesday, you don't write. Busy day, completely forgot. Thursday morning, you remember. Immediately write one paragraph. Minimum viable but counts. Consistency broken one day, resume next. Long-term pattern shows 98% consistency with occasional one-day gaps. Strong, consistent pattern maintained through quick returns. And compared to delayed recovery, same Wednesday miss. Thursday, you feel bad about missing. Plan to return tomorrow. Friday, you're busy. Saturday, you'll restart. Saturday, you're not motivated. Week passes. Consistency is gone. All from not returning quickly after first break. Here's your practice. Write your recovery protocol now, before next break. When I break consistency, I will specific action within 24 hours. Make this protocol simple and immediate. Next break, execute protocol, mark break, and return on tracking. After several breaks with quick returns, you'll see that breaks don't end consistency, only delayed returns do. Recover quickly from breaks. Expect breaks to happen. Have written recovery protocol, return immediately, ideally same day. Don't require motivation. Use 5-second rule. Treat as fresh start, not punishment. An analyze break to prevent future ones. Forgive yourself quickly. Share return with accountability. Mark recovery on tracking. We've explored 10 essential dimensions of staying consistent. Understanding what consistency requires. Making commitments you'll keep. Building supporting systems. Starting ridiculously small. Never missing twice. Tracking for accountability. Removing friction. Preparing for obstacles. Building consistent identity. And recovering quickly from breaks. These aren't just concepts to understand. They're practices to implement. Consistency is built through action, not through knowledge. Each dimension addresses specific barrier to consistency. Together, they create comprehensive approach to maintaining action over time. But understanding these dimensions changes nothing without implementation. You can know how to stay consistent and still be inconsistent. You can recognize value of consistency and still start and stop. Once you can agree with everything in this audiobook and still quit after 3 weeks. So here's the question. Will you actually stay consistent? Will you implement these practices? Will you show up regardless of feelings? Most people won't. They'll continue starting enthusiastically and quitting predictably. They'll remain inconsistent while wondering why nothing changes. You can be different. You can actually build consistency. You can become a person who follows through. But it requires commitment to showing up despite not feeling like it, to continuing despite slow progress, to maintaining despite others not noticing. Because here's what's at stake. Every significant achievement requires consistency. Physical fitness, skill mastery, business building, creative output, relationship maintenance, financial security. Nothing significant happens without sustained consistent action over time. Your inconsistency is preventing everything you want, the body you want, the skills you desire, the business you dream of, the relationships you value, the life you imagine. All require consistency you haven't maintained. Knowledge without consistent action creates nothing. Right now, you probably have goal you've been pursuing inconsistently, starting and stopping, making progress, then losing it, knowing what to do but not doing it. This pattern continues until you develop real consistency. 6 months from now, you could have maintained important actions consistently. You could have real progress. You could have proven to yourself that you're a person who follows through. You could have results that only consistency creates. Oh, all because you actually stayed consistent. Or you could still be inconsistent, still in same place, still starting and stopping, still having same goals with no progress, still wondering when you'll finally follow through. The difference is whether you do the work to stay consistent. Here's what I want you to do. Starting today, first choose one commitment to build consistency around. Don't try to be consistent with everything. Choose one important thing. Focus here. Master consistency in one area before expanding. Second, make this commitment ridiculously small, minimum viable version that's almost impossible to miss. Write this commitment specifically. Time, frequency, minimum action. Make it keepable. Third, build comprehensive system. Schedule consistent time. Design environment to support it. Create if-then plans. Set up tracking. Remove friction. Prepare for obstacles. Build complete system before relying on willpower alone. Fourth, establish never miss twice as absolute rule. Write it prominently. I may miss once. I never miss twice in row. This single rule will maintain your consistency through inevitable disruptions. Fifth, track every day for 90 days minimum. Mark whether you did committed action. No judgment, just honest tracking. Review weekly. Celebrate milestones. Analyze breaks. Use data to improve. These 5 actions, started today, begin your consistency transformation. After 30 days, you'll have proof you can be consistent. After 90 days, habit is forming. After 180 days, identity is shifting. After 1 year, you're a consistent person with results to prove it. But this only develops if you start, if you actually implement, if you commit to showing up regardless of circumstances. Consistency is everything, not talent, not luck, not perfect plans. Consistency, showing up, doing work, day after day. This relentless consistency is what creates everything meaningful. Stop relying on motivation. Stop hoping for perfect conditions. Stop starting and stopping. Start building real consistency. Start showing up. Start following through. This is your power. This is your opportunity to become a person who actually follows through, to build life that only consistency creates, to transform potential into reality through sustained action. Your inconsistency has kept you stuck. Your consistency will set you free. The results you've been seeking require consistency you haven't maintained. This changes when you develop capability to stay consistent. You can stay consistent, not through perfect execution, through persistent, imperfect action, through showing up most days, through returning quickly after breaks, through building systems that support sustained action. The fitness you want, the skills you desire, the business you dream of, the creative work you imagine, the relationships you value, all achievable through consistency. Nothing without it. How to stay consistent. Not someday when motivated. Today, despite low motivation. Not when circumstances are perfect. Now, despite imperfect circumstances. Not through dramatic effort. Through small, persistent action. The choice is yours. The practices are known. The path is clear. Consistency is skill you can develop. Will you? Decide today. Start small. Build systems. Show up. Track progress. Never miss twice. Remove friction. Prepare for obstacles. Build identity. Recover quickly. Stay consistent. Not perfectly. Persistently. Not dramatically. Daily. Not when you feel like it, regardless of feelings. This is how everything you want becomes reality. Through consistency, through showing up, through following through.